With all the racial unrest in our country, we have to begin thinking about this from our own perspective, our own lived experience, and that influences where we are and where we're going, how we think about things. And for me, my story begins with my mom and dad, who met in 1969, right after my dad got out of Vietnam. My dad's African American, and my mom is an Armenian immigrant. My dad was arrested twice for being a black man with a white woman. And my mom, she was cut off from her family for falling in love with a black man. My dad eventually became a police officer, and in 1982, he was shot for being black by a white guy. It ended his career as a street cop. And I think about this and I think, my parents could have easily been angry about racism. That would be like the natural thing. But they were not. My mother taught me that love and forgiveness are the pathways to healing. And my dad taught me that you are nobody's victim. You might have to work twice as hard as a white guy, but that's okay. And you always stand up for the underdog, no matter who they are. So I grew up between the two races. I know what it's like to be in a room and be too black to be there, and I know what it's like to be in another room and be not black enough. As an adult, I have found my identity and security in Jesus, being a child of God. The color of my skin does not bring me security. My Creator does. And as the first person in my family to graduate from college on either side, I also know what it's like to try to achieve something in this country and do it. We live in one of the greatest countries the world has ever known. So I am not an angry American of color. I recognize the historical injustices and the current injustices that exist. But we must not settle or squabble. We must fight together, not against each other. There is so much work for the church to do because the church was made for this. Thy kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. That is what Jesus prayed. It is not easy, but it's also not complicated. Love your neighbor as you love yourself, no matter who they are.